Good morning, beautiful souls, and welcome to the softer side of TikTok. This morning I will be making homemade pretzels. Start off 1.5 cups of lukewarm water, followed by 2.25 teaspoons of yeast, and that would be fast rising yeast. Next I add a dollop of honey. Give that a nice stir and then let it sit for 5 minutes. Next, while that sits for 5 minutes, I will start working another bowl where I will put 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour in it. A 1, a 2, and a half is what you want to start with. You could always add flour later, but for the pretzels, you really don't want them to be dry, so you want to be careful with that. Next, don't be afraid to add a little salt, however you like, Now, some may agree or disagree at this point, but this is what I like to do, is I like to melt about 1/2 cup of butter to add into my flour. This is softened before it is melted at 1/2 cup. But of course, once it's melted, it ends up being less than 1/2 cup. This is all preparations for when the yeast is ready. I won't be adding this just yet until I'm ready to use my yeast. You will know when your yeast is ready because it be yeasting. It'll have the smell, it'll have some foaminess at the top, and that's how you know she will be ready. She's been yeasting, so now she's going to be ready. So I'm going to add to my dry stuff, I've already added my salt and I've already added my flour, and I will be adding my butter, and then I will be pouring in the yeast. And this is going to be the first video. If you'd like to see the second half of how they come out in the finish, follow for more. But we will be kneading this because I don't have a mixer, and you're going to be kneading it about 70 times, and then we'll top it with some oil into the bowl, put a lid on it, and then let her sit for 45 minutes so she can double in size. There's the butter. Now we be yeasting. As you can see, she's looking a little liquidy, so I'll be adding another 1/2 cup of flour. And then this is where you will be kneading. Well, pretty much like flipping and then pushing down, flipping and pushing down. If she is super sticky like this, I'm going to add just a little bit more flour to it because we want to make sure that the flour stays moist because that's what makes for soft pretzels. There, now she's going to be ready. Now we're going to put her onto the counter and we're going to knead for 70 kneads. Throw a little flour on there because we don't want to dry her out either. See, right now she is moving. You can poke her, she bounces back. So when you're going to knead, you're going to want to do 2 hands pushing it forward, then you fold it back, turn, and you do that over and over and over again. At this stage, you should be able to push. She pushes back. So now we're going to oil the bowl just a little. We're going to sit her in there for 45 minutes and then come back for part 2.